Welcome to Candid Talks about Sex for Saints, where we're going to get candid about love, sex, wellness, and relationships. Just so you know, I am Tammy, a wife, a mother, best-selling author, your favorite intimacy and relationship coach, and the host of this fantabulous podcast, where we're going to promote sex but still keep it God. And I got a question for you. Have you ever wished that someone had taught you more about sex from a faith-filled perspective? Or have you ever had questions that no one could really answer for you? Or felt like if you knew then what you know now, that life might have been a little different? Well, let me tell you, you are not alone. This podcast is dedicated to just that, and we're going to fill in the gaps and break some silence and help you grow in godly intimacy without shame. And so today it looks a little different, y'all, because I'm coming to you from the beautiful island of Panama. I decided to come out here and get more in tune with my own pleasure, because one of my favorite things to do that brings me pleasure is to see and explore, and I love engaging with the beauty around me. And so whenever I come here, I explore the people, I explore the environment, I explore all of that beauty, and I explore new foods, new experiences, new places, and the culture of the people. That is something that brings me sense of joy and peace and alignment, which is why I'm excited about today's episode, which is going to be titled, Do You Deserve to Feel Good? Do you deserve to feel good? Because I want to get right into it. There's a misconception about pleasure and sex being the same, but pleasure and sex is not the same. It is not the same. In fact, you can have sex that is pleasurable, but you do not need sex to experience pleasure. And so I want to give you this definition that I love very much, which says that pleasure is the experience of positive sensations that make you feel alive, connected, and grounded in your body. So the real question becomes, do you feel alive? Do you feel connected? And do you feel grounded, right? Because I want to ask you this question. When was the last time you felt that way outside of sex? Because if your answer is, I don't know, then sis, we got some work to do. But I'm not going to leave you hanging, because one of the first steps in putting in the work is remembering that God created pleasure. I love the scripture in Genesis 31, 1 and 31, where it says that God saw all that he made and it was very good. And that includes the clitoris, y'all. It includes joy. That includes connection. Psalm 16 and 11, I love this one too. It says that in your presence there is fullness of joy, and at your right hand pleasures forevermore. God wired your body to experience joy and pleasure. Let me say this. Married sex is one of the holiest places where you get to play that out, because God isn't anti-pleasure. He's anti-idolatry. We're not idolizing pleasure here. We're learning about it. We're learning to experience it, because God delights in us, delighting in his gifts in marriage. And that includes sex, and that also includes the pleasure that it brings. And so I want you to write this down, because I really want you to get it in your head that I want you to write this down, because I really want you to get it in your head. Sex can be pleasurable, but pleasure does not require sex, right? I want to give you some examples of things that you can find pleasure in. And these are just examples. You're going to have your own, because sometimes you can interact with people, right? And you could be going through something, and so laughing until you cry. That is a way to experience pleasure. Sometimes you might be going through something that's so traumatic, that's so much, and you just want to relieve because life is happening around you, and you just want to be like, let me go laugh until I cry, because you're trying to experience some type of pleasure outside of the thing that you're experiencing. And so that's a way to experience pleasure. Another one is a deep tissue massage. Some people might go get massages because they need to release the tension that they feel in their bodies, because they're so stressed out. And one of the things that happens is stress gets locked in the body. And a way to release that tension is to get a massage, to start releasing the tension that you feel, the pressure. Sometimes sitting outside in the sun on a cool day, notice I said a cool day, that can be pleasurable. And sometimes you might want to take some fruit out there, enjoy the taste of the fruit, just take its time, sitting out in the sun on a cool day, just eating your watermelon or eating your mango. Oh my goodness, all right? My goodness. Another way to experience pleasure is worship, y'all. Worship is something that we get to enjoy, take part in. That is pleasurable, to be able to experience God and in His presence. When you get into worship, and that thing brings you to tears because you understand the connection and you understand God and you understand all the things through worship, that is pleasurable. Another way to experience pleasure that I see people do is maybe taking a slow walk outside in silence, or something that I like to do, driving in my car in silence with nothing but just me and God. Sometimes I would just drive for an hour with nothing playing, just complete silence, and that conversation is between me and God. The point that I am trying to get you all to understand is that pleasure is about desire. And so let me ask you this: what do you desire? Because if you don't know, how can you expect to experience it? You got to name it before you claim it, y'all. And too many women are skipping this step, and you are waiting for your spouse to just get it while you haven't even gotten it for yourselves. I remember this client that I once had, and let me tell you, this client came to me very frustrated. She said she didn't enjoy sex because she wasn't having orgasms. And her words were, I just wish my husband knew how to get me there. And so I asked her, I was like, sis, so like, do you know how to get you there? And then she got real quiet. I'm like, why are you getting quiet? You know, I want to understand if you understand your own desires, your own pleasure. Are you in tune with your own body, right? Because let me tell you, I want to help somebody. You are responsible for your orgasms. Orgasms is not a prize your spouse wins. It's a destination you help them navigate to. And so when you're in tune with your body, you can say right there, you can say slower, more pressure, not like that, like this. And you become an active participant instead of being a silent observer, just thinking about how you're not enjoying the experience, right? Because you got to be able to guide them there. That's called intimacy. That is called maturity. That's actually called kingdom confidence in your body. So how many of you are confidently with your body? That's kingdom confidence. That's kingdom confidence. And this is the secret that I want you to understand, because I want to give it away. I don't want to be a gatekeeper to pleasure. I don't want to be a gatekeeper. The secret is to be able to awaken the senses that you have outside of sex, right? This means that you're being intentional about engaging in all 5 senses throughout the day. And how do you do that? Well, it's the things that you're smelling. What are you smelling that makes you feel safe and warm and turned on? What are you activating those pheromones in your body? Right? Are you activating those pheromones and allowing you to feel good? What scents turn you on? Is it your perfume? Is it your pheromone oils? Is it the scents that your husband puts on his body? Like, what activates you? Are you paying attention to the smells that you like and how the scents make you feel? You got to pay attention to what that senses make you feel. What kind of music are you listening to? Are you listening to things that will stir you up in a way that makes you feel emotionally connected or sensually connected? What music are you listening to that's making you just feel good? And are you paying attention to how it makes you feel when you listen to these things? Even down to the clothing that you put on. What fabrics are you putting on your skin that makes you feel good? Or how do you like to be touched? Do you like to be touched slowly, soft, firm, or playfully? Like how are you liking to be touched? How are you taking the time when you eat your food? Are you enjoying the taste? Or even the food you eat? Like, do you bask in the flavors and it gets to a point where it makes you close your eyes and you're like, man, that's so good, right? You close your eyes and that's so good. Like, are you taking the time to even enjoy the foods that you're eating? Or what visuals, like what are you looking at that's making you stop and just breathe deeper? Sometimes it's the sunset or the sunrise, right? Sometimes you can just look at the sky at particular times and you're like, man, that is beautiful. That is beautiful, because that all of that is a part of pleasure. That is called sensual self-awareness. And when you start making these discoveries outside of the bedroom, you become more in tune with your body in the bedroom. Now, when you go into intimacy with your spouse, You're not fumbling around hoping something works. You're coming in with language, confidence, and knowledge. You're preparing your body to receive more in the bedroom because you're learning what you like, what feels good, what centers you. So when you step into the moment of intimacy with your spouse, you're not guessing, you're flowing, right? That is self-awareness. That's power. I want to bring it back to the word real quick because Solomon 7:6 says, how beautiful and pleasant you are, O loved one, with all of your delights. That's Bible, y'all. And it's sensual. It's holy. And you deserve to feel good, not because you're perfect, but because God created you with the capacity for good. So when you tune into your senses and your desires, you become a better lover to your spouse. You become a better communicator and a better receiver. And so this week, here's what I want you to do. I want you to pick a sense, one of the 5 senses, whether it's sight, sound, touch, taste, or smell, and write down what feels good. And share that discovery with your spouse, because this is how you bring intimacy back into alignment. This is how you prepare for holy pleasure. And you want to make sure that you are doing all the things that is pleasurable, because why? You deserve to feel good. And so that's all I have for you today, saints. I hope you were stretched, inspired, and maybe even a little convicted in the best way for this episode, because I hope that it blesses you. If it does, please share it with your spouses, your group chats, or somebody who you know needs to be reminded that God created them to receive pleasure on purpose. He created it for you. And again, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Please don't forget to follow me on my Instagram, the Marriage Lab LLC. Oh, I was gonna say, enjoy. And y'all, this is a short episode because, I'm out here with not equipment today. I'm just doing it just so that I can remain consistent in posting these things on Mondays for Married Sex Mondays. So thank you again for joining me on the series of Married Sex Mondays. So I'll see you next week.